I I am doing so good. I am so hyped. I don't know. This is the final game of the tournament, right? Or am I mistaken? Is there still one more to go after this, like Wanderers bracket, for
There's
example?
Wanderers final, but this is the championship game for the main bracket.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
winner take all for this one.
God, I'm so excited. Yeah, I am beyond hyped. I am excited to be here with you, Elagatua. I feel like, it starts as it began, with you and me on commentary. I
Yeah, it's
think,
been a great run. I'm
yeah.
I'm actually super excited for having these two players in the
Mm,
finals. Favio has been playing since the very beginning of Triforce Blitz and was helping me when we were back doing playtesting. And
mm,
Ramond, I think, has kind of had a breakout tournament for him.
yeah.
And I hadn't really watched any of his races before this tournament, but the more races I watch him play, the more I find myself rooting for him because he just plays really aggressively in an intelligent way.
Hmm.
And I guess arrogantly is a lot like how I play these seeds. And so I'm just becoming a huge fan. And with that, we're underway. And let's
Yeah.
see if we're going to be in for another really low path count seed or whether we're going to be here for a while.
This game needs to be a nail biter, in my opinion, where it comes right down to the wire. Inside Gan's Castle Path to Courage. I didn't get the numbers though. Did you?
That was a 17-2-9. That is awesome. That
Yeah,
is,
that's what we
we are
wanted.
in for a treat today.
That's what we want. Well, we can immediately make some guesses as to where Wisdom is. It's pretty, it's not hard to guess where it might be. It's probably going to be the well, as per usual. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
that's definitely a decent place to put it too. I'm just excited that these are spread out because game one and game two were both like kind of sub 10 totals.
But they were
But when you got a
blitzes.
17 and a 2 and a 9, you have to play it very differently than both of the previous seeds. And so now we're going to see if there's any real weaknesses in these two runners' strategies
Hmm.
because it's one thing to master playing some really low path count seeds, but
Uh-huh.
it's like a seed like this, you really have to do a completely different strategy. And I would be maybe a little bit disappointed if we had a finals with all three seeds being the same kind of length.
Yeah.
But now, like this one, this is going to be a real challenge, and whoever is able to get the win here is definitely going to be a deserving champion.
For sure. And you know what I really like about this path distribution is that you have a really quick one. You have the one that's in between, nice and nice number. It's not too long, not too short. And then you got 17, which is very deep, right? So you have a bit of everything. You have the fast piece, the normal piece, and then you have that last one where you probably aren't even sure you're gonna get it. I mean, 17 is far. That could be OOT for all we know.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where the strategy comes in because with a 2, 9, and a 17, like the runners may have to commit really hard to get that 2 and that 9 and maybe deliberately ignore the 17. But it kind of
Hmm.
depends on what's the catch, right? Like whenever there's a
Right.
high number, it's what's the catch? What's
Hmm.
holding us up here? Is it like a bunch of dungeons locking ZL? Are there going to be any skips available? So
Right.
the runners are going to have to choose their strategy probably a little bit later,
Right.
once they get a little bit more information about the layout of the seed. And whoever can kind of adapt to the information and make good strategic choices is going to have an advantage if this thing comes down to like a tiebreak.
Yep, yeah. And with a 17, there's almost going to be certainly some places where you can skip quite a few, steps on the path. There's a bomb bag in the windmill. We also had some chews earlier, so we're well equipped to blow some things up. But
Yeah, and some shield money too, and Requiem. So that's
yeah.
really interesting. So Nocturne and Requiem already showing up. So those are two of the songs that can cause logic madness,
Hmm.
and those are already available. So the only other two songs that could really be buried deep that could cause us to be kind of hard locked out of dungeons would be Storms and ZL. So whenever we see those two songs show up early, ZL or maybe even like Epona could potentially logically create some bottlenecks, but in practice they'll be able to reverse if that's the case.
Yep.
Also, one thing I wanted to call out: Ramond having the nice setup in the windmill to get that bomb bag, and I'm pretty sure the reason he just blind did that setup is because in game one there was a strength upgrade up there and he kind of had some issues getting up there. So I think he just he's going to learn from his mistakes and was rewarded with the bomb bag and getting.
He's practiced. You hear the practice ROM outside of the tournament and just grind that check like 30 times in a row until he could do it eyes closed.
Well, yeah, he knew the strat, but oftentimes you just peek it and then you try to climb up on there. Right. But if you're going to do the side hop strat, you have to like wait a second before doing the side hop. So you have to kind of commit to it right at the beginning. But that huge rupee going to be really nice. You never know when you're going to find yourself in Forest Temple without a shield, and that's not going to be a thing this seed. So I'm really happy that we're not going to get that spaghetti.
Yeah, and 20-pack with shoes as well. I mean, there's just a lot of bombs in this seed. It's going to be an explosive race, hopefully for us, the spectators as well. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm thinking that 17 power, you mentioned Forest Temple. It could just be that, you know, Saria's song is an OoT, and that's it. And then we'll just never end up doing any of that. That could be it. You never know. You know, Triforce Blitz is still random. And rando's gonna rando sometimes.
Yeah, I'm still just curious, like, what this catch is going to be. Because we have a bomb bag in Sphere 0, so bomb logic is basically out the window now. Yes. There's no way that controls too much. Mm-hmm. And Dodongo's is now a 1 at most. Yes. So it looks like Forest Temple, Path of Power. So I'm sure that's the first of many dungeons on the Path of Power. But really, we're kind of looking for what is the thing that's adding all these items to the power path, and can we get around that somehow? That's what the story is going to be, probably, as we fill in the information over the next few minutes.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, Ramond is just blitzing off into the distance, like just moving fast, getting checks done quickly.
His execution is super cool. Like that setup there to open the eyes is actually not one that I know, but he did it like super well, and it seems like that setup doesn't require a shield, which the one that I know does. Yeah. So that's actually some pretty cool tech to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, my setup for this requires that you jump to the left side of the room rather than the right side, and you climb the ladder, and then you do a series of inputs and you just drop the 2 chews, and that works reliably for me. The one that he does, I know it, but I can't pull it off. It always goes wrong.
This looks like it's going to be straight to King Dodongo for Ramond, and this is the classic Ramond play. Pure aggression, not worrying about leaving stuff behind, knowing that if he needs to come back to Dodongo's cavern, there's a good chance that there's going to be a hint somewhere that leads him back here, and knows that this is too shallow for any Triforce pieces. So just going to try and pick up that medallion as quickly as possible, get Ganon's access, maybe get moving on to Lost Woods through Goron City after this, and pick up an extra song or get more hints. But just trying to get directly to more information, focusing on that 2 and that 9 piece, and knowing that the thing that's between him and picking up those pieces is probably hints more than anything else right now.
Yep, for sure. That's a big piece in the compass. It's just Force Winds. We know. I just say just. Can be a big deal, but without magic being accessible to us right now, it's not a big deal yet.
Yeah, not yet, but we don't have opponents yet, so that's a situation that could potentially be big later on.
Yep.
Where if you have to reverse to GTG, but you don't have all the items, being able to drop furores there makes that play a lot less risky. And Ramond definitely not going to be getting that for a long time unless there's some path hint that leads us back here. So
for sure.
Put a fork in that one or put a bookmark in that, not a fork in it. Whatever. My idioms are.
I think a fork works.
But yeah, Ramond is like the classic Icarus player. He's trying to fly close to the sun, but not so close that it melts his wings. And in game 1, he flew a little too close to the sun, unfortunately, and missed his fire sources. But in game 2, that aggression paid off and got him that second piece with enough time to win the tiebreaker, even though he had a kind of a careless soft lock.
Oh, another big chest.
And all right, here's a potential big moment. Favio finding a big chest.
It's a bow. That's big. Well, it could be big.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially. There's a good chance that's going to be relevant. But yeah, I mean, you know, speaking of idioms, that was a really good one with the Wings of Icarus. Oh, there's the bracelets. Yeah, and I think just in general, Ramond, I think, has such an iconic playstyle already. I think that's really the big takeaway that I've had from him as a player, is that he immediately crafted his own style when it comes to playing Triforce Blitz. But on top of that, he's a dark horse, right? I don't think anyone really knew his name particularly well before this tournament, and he is now here in the finals. Potentially, you know, one game, no, not even, yeah, just one game away from becoming the winner. And so is Favio. It's like, you know, and these are, I think, both are just kind of runners that, you know, before this really weren't that well known in the greater Zelda scene. Favio to some degree was, of course, but you get what I mean.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a breakout tournament for Ramond, and I think, especially early on in the tournament, Ramond was able to get a bracket that avoided a lot of the big name players, and so when he made it to the semis, I think a lot of us maybe didn't put a lot of stock in that, and then we were kind of all expecting Cola, I think, to move past him. But he earned his win against Cola for sure with some really smart play, and I think surprised all of us. And after watching his game one, I'm not surprised at all that he took game two. But we've got some more information rolling in here about the seed that I want to discuss really quickly.
Same.
We've got Minuet showing up in Logic, so that kills Forest Access Shenanigans.
Yep.
And we have Shadow on the Path of Courage, and that's our 9. So that's definitely what is contributing a lot of the items there, and that's a DC Wanderer probably for that bow.
Probably, yeah. So there's probably another bow out there. Shadow Temple Path to Courage. Okay, good to know. So you're gonna have to go in there eventually. You know, that suggests that Forest Wind is going to be useful sooner rather than later. Because we will need a magic to get into the Shadow Temple.
Yeah, and that's Epona as well in Logic. So really, all these major songs unlocking areas, pretty much everything other than ZL.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask one question though. You mentioned that there's no Minuet shenanigans, but that's not quite true, is it? Because Minuet showed up at the Minuet check. We don't have a logical way of getting there as an adult, do we?
Hold that thought. I need to answer my door real fast. I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Of course, yes. Yeah, well, I think we just got Minuet at Minuet as an adult. So Saria's song could still be relevant here, so I don't think Forest Temple Access is really quite solved yet, unless I missed something. I'm gonna have to look at chat for this one. Chat will know. Minuet was at Colossus. Okay, thank you, chat. I was not paying attention at all. Yeah, sometimes things just escape you. Another big chest here for Favio. Let's see what's in it. It's Rose Letter. Okay. Well, if you want to find items that can go deep, there's one for you. Might very well end up being on the path to power. Maybe even Courage. There's even a good chance that Courage and Power are basically one and the same for the first 9 steps.
All right, I have returned. And
welcome back.
To echo that thought, generally we have a 17. Pretty much anything else in the seed is going to be on that path because it just kind of has to be. So
it's so deep.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if this ended up being pretty linear.
Yep.
River on the path. That's interesting. Could be.
Ooh,
Bins. That's well, we know that's a path item.
We need that. Yep. No being the sea without a trip to the Shadow Temple, so you know, no avoiding it. We just need that magic now, and then we can put that Forest Wind and the Din's Fire to good use. And I would say this seed not that important anymore now that we have Eponas. You know, I feel like the uses for it starting to slip a little bit, but can still save a good bit of time here and there when used effectively.
It is something that we need to keep track of, though, because we do have a 2-count Triforce piece, and so depending on where all of our songs show up, how deep does Epona song end up being, and could GTG be a potential 2 location where there's a few songs that are chaining together to lead to Eponas? Kind of depends on where Saria's song shows up for whether that's the case, but I'd say that's pretty high on the list of suspects at the moment.
Yeah, if you find a sorry song that kind of cancels out the minuet, so yeah, like that definitely changes things.
And that's Cack Path of Wisdom. So that could be for the bomb bag. It could be for the strength upgrade.
Yeah,
Well, what was the song? Was that Requiem? I think that was Requiem.
yes, it was. I guess it was. Because we started off with Nocturne, we pretty much immediately warped to the graveyard.
Yeah, so it could be. And oh no, Favio for getting Man on Roof. It looks like missing that strength upgrade. That's
Could be a, especially with the information we have now, that could be a problem.
So, unfortunately, that Requiem path doesn't necessarily help us all that much. At least we're assuming that it's Requiem. I think that's the most likely case, so we'll kind of assume for now. But even knowing that it's Requiem doesn't necessarily help us too much, because we do have that Requiem locking Minuet. Yeah. And so it could just be for forest access, Requiem for Minuet for a piece in forest, or it could be something with like Child Spirit or Adult Spirit if there's a lot of if there's a lot of strength upgrades available. So, or I mean, I think it's unlikely, but there could be like 2 ways to Forest Temple that are both locked behind Requiem somehow, and it ends up being like GTG or something with Eponas. I mean, there's still like a handful of possibilities for even this first Triforce piece.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, anyone who's been watching this tournament quite religiously will know that a low path count can be very deceiving. We had one, I think, where we had a 4 path count, and it took us over an hour to find it. So, yeah. I think we even had a seed that went up to 2 hours, and the first Triforce piece was at 16 minutes, I think, in Ganon's castle, and that ended up being the one that won the game.
Yeah, I heard about that one. It was just like kind of random routing. But,
I think it was Flavio versus Mr. Martin, I think. I don't know. I know it was Mr. Martin against someone.
Maybe that was Nefarian, yeah.
Oh, Nefarian, yes, that's the one. Shadow Temple Path to Power. We saw that one, didn't we?
So that is a second Shadow Temple.
Oh, yeah, that was Courage.
There's a Courage and a Power that are... And something from both of those is in Shadow, so again, not surprising. Pretty much confirms the overlap between the paths, and we know that there's at least 2 path items in Shadow Temple. Yeah, no surprise.
We could already say that Nocturne, Magic, and Dins are on both paths. At the very least, Could be something else too, but those 3 items definitely are on both paths.
So, main thing holding us back from further progress, probably a hook shot.
Yes.
And was it Rudo's in River? Is that what we found?
No, that wasn't the Death Mountain Trail.
So what did we find in River? Because I saw River was Path.
I didn't see anything yet. So maybe it's on frogs.
Oh, no, it's Claim Check.
Claim Check, okay.
That would be a classic, right? Big Oron.
It could be Claim Check, to be fair. It could be. We still have frogs to consider.
Yeah, but Ramond definitely chasing that Claim Check immediately, and I think that's a good idea. It needs to be like a Magic or Hover Boots on Vigoron, and whenever you have numbers this high, you're kind of always looking for silly things that inflate the path count for no reason, and Claim Check is about like the top of that.
Oh, yeah.
Ramond is going to end up back in DC chasing that Wanderer, so a little bit inefficient, but it's kind of on the way anyway, so I don't think he's going to end up losing a ton of time here to do this.
No, I think this is
like
fine.
30 seconds of routings, more or less.
No, I think this is fine. I mean, if there was nothing here in the end, this would have been a huge time save, but now he's kind of pushed back here, so it makes sense. I don't think it's anything that will impede his run regardless, in my opinion.
Looks like Favio's going to be heading Child to probably pick up those Child songs. With Minuet, it's always nice. You can get the Saria song check really fast. and no Serenade or Prelude as per tradition. So maybe a chance that Favio can pick up some routing songs in this child leg.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And Bolero, so that's another song that's going to open up when Favio heads back adult. So that's convenient, not super helpful yet in terms of routing because no way to cross the bridge yet, but will eventually become useful. And Ramond getting rewarded by picking up that Furore's win now. So now the only major divergence I think that is relevant is the missing the strength 1 on Man and Rue for Favio. I'm a little bit nervous, especially when you have a power that's so high.
Yeah.
And anything like that makes you think, oh, Light Trial is going to be a thing. And you need all the strength upgrades to get in there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that could be a nasty one for sure. We'll have to see.
Ramond picking up his first skull 20 minutes into the seed, so that's pretty solid. That's ahead of pace compared with what I do usually. So it's a good job, Ramond, being responsible with your skulls. I definitely respect that. Responsibility is important.
It is. It is. There's the bow. He's out of there. He's seen enough.
He's actually peaked everything because
he did.
Yeah, he saw the other chest and kind of works well. And Nocturne play here. I think this is probably just for adult shooting gallery, maybe to follow up on that CAC path. Mm-hmm. Probably wants to check everything because he knows that finding wisdom as soon as possible is important and leaving nothing to chance. And probably going to end up heading up towards DMT anyway after this, so it's not much different than just save quitting out of DC and walking up trail that way.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through my head like where it could be the Triforce of Wisdom because there's not many options, right? Let's just like assuming the bomb bag isn't what we were looking for in Kakariko. I opened up a lot of interesting possibilities, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's most likely Spirit or Forest at this point. Mm-hmm. If we find Saria's song in Child, that could change things. But it's probably Requiem to get into Spirit, mm-hmm. or it is Requiem to get Minuet to get into Forest.
Yeah. What if it's I'm kind of stuck on that Requiem as well. I think that's probably the best option. I think it could just be Adult Spirit, right? Like, you know, on the early checks.
Yeah, absolutely. If ZL shows up somewhere as well, that would be a pretty big pointer towards that because it'd be very easy to have Requiem and ZL combined together for some ZL locked item in Adult Spirit. Mm-hmm. But I just have a feeling that ZL is buried somewhere metagaming off of the 17.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, 2 is very low, so it can be very deep in Adult if it is there. What else could I think the option for GGG, I mean, it's still possible. I just think it's unlikely. We need a long shot, right, to cancel out the opponents, for example.
And there's Storm, so that's actually a nice pickup for Favio because I believe that Favio has the river path, mm-hmm. and that's going to make clearing river all in one go very efficient. And we're going to see if it's really that claim check or whether it's actually just Frogs 1 that has our river path item. And also that could potentially open up a bottom of the well play to maybe get some checks out of Logic because there are a handful of checks that may logically require ZL that don't in practice.
Oh, magic.
Oh, magic.
There it is. Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah, so we can at least dip into Shadow. And I imagine that Ramond... actually, Ramond does not have Dins yet.
No.
He needs to go to Goron City. So with our powers combined, we can dip into Shadow, but
Yeah.
but not yet as either one of them.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
this might be heading in that direction for Ramond because I imagine he wants to follow up on the claim check anyway. Oh no, this looks like this is actually just going child. I take it all back.
Yeah. Alright.
I'm so scared for Favio. I can't believe his shield didn't get burned there.
You know what though? I feel so confident about it. I think it's Adult Spirit. I don't know why, but I feel like it's there. That's my gut feeling. But that would mean there has to be multiple strengths. So the one in CAC, right? And we need to find 2 others. And if that's true, then that means the CAC strength would also be Wanderer, right? Rather than Path. So that would mean Requiem or Bombs would be the actual path. I don't know, but that's just kind of the way I don't know. I have a gut feeling. I don't know.
Well, we've already seen our 1 Wanderer hint, and with the path counts this high, that pretty much guarantees that the 1 Wanderer hint is the only one. So
yeah, for
any
sure.
other Wanderer items are going to be unhinted.
Yeah.
We see 2 keys here in Child Spirit, so that means there's a very high possibility that the majority of Adult Spirit is going to end up being locked behind Requiem, just purely because of key logic. It's almost impossible for it not to be.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Ramond's just bringing Richard home. And I think we might see, I'm not surprised. You find that lens, you find the magic, you might as well give it a whirl. Left, left, right, left, left. That's what I'm gonna say.
Get your
damn
text in
it.
chat. We fell asleep, guys. But you got... Maybe Favio will give us another chance. You can redeem yourself.
Yeah, I was guessing where Favio's running for this. That's it. That's it.
Yes, exactly.
It's right, left, left, right, right. Sorry, that's what I'm.
And Favio going to be giving us peaks in Spirit Temple. This is all out of logic, remember, because we do not actually have a logical way to drop that bridge and get those keys.
Yeah,
So at least temporarily, we're seeing out of logic checks. And Favio's going to have to use these bomb shoes to hit the switch because he has no child projectile. I think this is good.
Yeah, looks good.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, I called it. Right, left, left, right, left. That's exactly what I said, for sure. Don't call me a genius,
big
but
chest
you
in
know. Ooh,
Spirit.
that's big. It's use. How incredibly useful.
Well, it's a refill. That's enough explosives for the rest of the seed, most likely.
More nuts.
And we'll see some Firelock checks here. These are not technically out of logic because we have logical magic and a fire source. But Favio doesn't know that, so certainly a good idea to check these and just get these out, thinking maybe magic could be buried deeper in the seed, and it's just a good time to do it when you're here as child.
Yeah. Where is the spreadsheet? I need it. I've completely lost track of my own hints for some reason. Hang on. There it is.
So that's another Shadow Temple power. I don't think that's a dupe, so...
No, that was our second time seeing it, so yeah, it's still the original.
And Ramond going to Deep Castle for the second hint, so really committing hard to those hints. It's always a tentative balance to commit to hints versus trying to get to all the checks you need to in what is possibly a time limit seed. And there you go. That's the classic. That is Jabu Deku Water Temple locking Zelda's Lullaby. And if you were waiting to see what the catch was, that's the catch.
Yeah, we need a scale to get to it, I think. That's going to be one of the items, at least, that's going to make things a bit tricky. Kokiri sword, it's only one scale. But, a scale can be really a real bitch, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, in practice, they won't need it because they've got explosives to be able to chicken into domain if that becomes a thing.
For sure.
But what that really opens up is it opens a lot of opportunities for potential out of logic plays because Zelda's Lullaby is required sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places that you can actually get to that require ZL without ZL. Ice Cavern being high on the list, and we know that Shadow Temple is path, which likely means that hovers are going to be available somewhere. Additionally, if you get Iron Boots, there's a handful of checks that can be done in Water Temple out of logic. There are some checks in Bottom of the Well that are even available now for Favio that could be ZL locked. That would be pretty deep, and then Spirit Temple as well. If there's keys that are ZL locked in Adult Spirit, getting deeper into Spirit could be logically key locked behind ZL, but not actually. So a deep ZL sometimes can just be bait, and it could be a sign that our runners need to ignore the logic rather than try to chase all the way down the 17 path. And we're going to see what the runners do with this information. Favio obviously not knowing that yet, but Bottom of the Well is definitely a solid option, and that seems like where he's headed.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the Triforce of Courage. The path is 9, but we can make some pretty solid assumptions about what's going to be on that path at this point, I think.
Well, it's the rest of Shadow Kit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so there's a good chance hovers might be involved, right? Like if it's not in the first two. So that's another one you can add up. So that will be making items.
I think there's a very high chance that that Courage is not ZL locked. You can kind of just do the math and figure out intuitively that it's probably not going to be required because we've already got Shadow Temple on our Courage path. So that's a minimum of Nocturne and Dins, probably hovers as well, potentially magic. So we're looking at like realistically 3 or 4. And then for the items that are required for ZL, you've got Rudo's rank, Okiri's sword, 2 hook shots, and Iron Boots. And Ramond lost his chicken.
Yeah, you're right. And that's ZL, you know, the job shit. That can be really annoying.
Yeah, so let's just hope that there's nothing on Waterfall. I think we've all been there. And that's the other dupe. So, as is tradition in Blitz, no Serenade. So, who knows when Favio is going to make it down here. But looks like Favio not going to go well and is going to instead go to River to try and lock down whatever that path item is. And I'm totally fine with that play because it's very easy to get back to well if he wants to do that later with the Nocturne and River's path, and he can find whatever's path here for sure. So why not do it now?
Sure. Yep, definitely.
So Rip Wasteland, it was path once. It was Ramond's downfall in game 1, but not going to be a factor this time. And we'll see if Ramond continues on to do any late checks. But Jabu Foolish, again, per tradition. So,
oh, yeah.
not like we expected anything else, but nice to have that off the list. A few handy Dungeon Barons this seed. Fire Temple Baron is always wonderful to get. That's just a place that you can lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
Having that off the board makes it much more likely that the Triforce pieces are going to be accessible.
Yeah, so we have confirmation that Jabu is foolish.
Yeah, that was one of the back of the lake hints.
Yeah, no surprise. I honestly feel like at this point, I should just update the rules page with Triforce Blitz and just add Jabu is always foolish. I mean, it might as well be. We've removed Jabu from the logic. We might as well just put that there at this point.
Yeah, so Favio doing Storm. So if this is nothing, then that's going to confirm Claim Check as our path item here in River.
Yes, indeed. And it's... Oh, it's hovers.
I found the path item in River.
I called it. I did call it.
So now that's going to add even more options to search out of logic for this 17. Because now that's going to open up Ice. If Favio elects to head into domain and turn in that letter to free up a bottle. That could be a thing that Favio ends up taking the commitment to. And also, if Favio ever makes his way into Ganon's castle, that will be all of the items that we need to do pretty much all the Shadow Temple that we can. And GTG Path of Power, so interesting.
Yeah. So at this point, you know, we have confirmed on the Path to Courage, hovers, Nocturnal Shadow, obviously, Magic and Dins, that's 4. What else could be there? Oh, Song of Storms to access the hover boots.
Well, that is confirmed at this point as well, for sure.
Yeah, so that makes 5. What else could? There might be multiple bomb bags accessible, but we haven't found them yet. So assuming for a second that's the only bomb bag in CAC, that might be the path rather than Requiem, right?
Yeah, it certainly could be. I don't think we're going to know for sure until we find the piece, to be honest.
For sure, yeah. But I'm just thinking, I'm trying to like hypothesize like paths in my head, like I'm trying to like write down like what could it be. If I have bombs, that would be 6.
So Ramond, talking to the correct Scarecrow of the Seed, so that's great. Not going to have the the championship match tainted by soft lock silliness. And Favio going to turn in that letter, so Ice is now open, and Ramond telepathically happy to find out that Valley is indeed foolish, so actually losing that chicken was an optimization as he planned all along.
I think I know where the courage piece is. I think I figured it out, or at least I have a really good hypothesis. All right. So let's assume for a second the bomb bag is too much of an unknown. I'm going to say it's Requiem, okay, for the sake of saying it. If I'm saying it's Requiem, I was at 5 earlier. So let's say Requiem, Minuet, that makes 6. Strength from Cat could make 8. Then we just need a hook shot for 9. It might just be a Force Temple.
Yeah, that would be for Courage. I guess that would
Courage, yes.
There was a first hook shot in Shadow, especially.
Yeah, it could be in Shadow. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I imagine we're going to find out before too long. Ganon's has got to be up there on the places to go, especially with that being Path.
Yeah, we found magic there.
Favio puts that off much longer once he ends up back in Adult. But for now, just kind of setting up for the long Adult 2 is Favio. Clearing out domain, and then I imagine it's either well or back to Adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got a feeling the hookshot might just end up in Shadow Temple. That would make sense because, you know, that would be the only item that I don't have, basically. You know, we need to find something in Shadow. We know it's Path to Courage, so that would make sense. But it could be something else. It could not be a hookshot at all, or it could be a hookshot for something else, you know, for GGG, perhaps. Who knows? But I don't know.
Oh, and a big chest in Domain. If this ends up being an item, this could be really important because Domain is often an overworld location that you skip just because the chests are slow. So let's hold our breath here and see if this is an important item or bomb juice.
Yeah, and on top of that, let's remember this could potentially be very deep with ZL being on OoT, and we haven't found a scale yet. So technically, we're not meant to be here yet.
That is true, yes. We have no idea how deep this could be, but it only matters if it's actually an item worth getting.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Wow,
that's actually very interesting.
I'll be honest, this is turning into a bit of a mess for both of these runners. Ramond is going to have to find his way back to River to get those hovers, and if he wants that strength too, he is going to have to make the commitment to Domain as well. Which is not a free thing, but Favio, missing the easy strength on Man in the Roof, is now, he needs to find that third strength if he's going to get into Spirit Temple, so I don't even know who this is good for.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like Favio is in a good position, assuming that what I said is correct, and I got a good, I think it's a very good chance because it does kind of add up mathematically in my head. That Shadow Temple will lead to the item that will get our Triforce piece. It almost has to, unless like there's some hidden steps that would be from bombs being required, for example, instead of Requiem and Minuet. In that case, I don't know, but let's assume that just assume for a second that it is for Requiem Minuet. Then I think Valkyrie is looking really strong to find that Courage piece first, because he pretty much has everything he needs to get into Shadow at this point. Just needs that magic, and I mean that's not going to take him much longer to get. I think.
I'm just worried that the Wisdom piece is going to require both strengths or something like that. Like it doesn't take a lot for a scale to be really early to put that strength into logic, so
that's true.
We'll see. It's everything to play for, to put it mildly.
Yeah. Ramond's going into the well without ZL.
Yeah, I mean, I like this play. This is going to tell him a lot of information because there's a chance that he could run into the 17 here.
Yeah,
it's not impossible. He's got it, and he's going to be able to peek a few big chests that are ZL locked as well. So we're going to learn a lot here, and it's kind of it's a low commitment, but it's a high reward if it ends up paying out.
Oh yeah, and I mean it could just be. I mean, let's not jump to conclusions here, but it could be something really silly as just needing ZL for some really stupid key logic that you can just get right past.
Yes, and of course the first big chest that's ZL locked is big. This is why we can't have nice things.
Have we seen a big chest locked by ZL yet?
Yeah, the first underwater chest was big, so already one big chest not going to be accessible until, well, who knows?
yeah, that one we can't get without some trickery. We'll need that item. Light arrows, not useful in this mode.
Yeah, might need those later in a future game mode, but not this one.
Let's bring back Ganon. You find all the Triforce pieces, you just get teleported there instead. You still need the light arrows to win.
There's the other Jabba Foolish. More bomb shoes, so very explosive seed so far.
Yeah, for sure. But no bomb bags yet, though. That's the big omission.
No, we've got the first bomb bag from the windmill.
Yeah, but that's what I meant. Like the only one. No extra.
Right. Yeah. So nothing to clarify whether that bomb bag is actually the path item or not.
Right.
Looks like Ramond looking for a key. This was the only key available so far as I saw.
Yes, same.
So that likely means that there's some other keys that are ZL locked, and that actually increases the value of the 3 key checks, because it's very likely that that these back checks are potentially 10 plus items deep, and there's a big chest there. So here we go.
That can be ZL locked. Is the funny thing. Because Ball the Well key logic is a weird beast sometimes. It might just be on the dead hand. That could literally be the Triforce of Power right there.
Yeah, and potentially this could even be Wisdom. So if there is a key in the basement, then this could be Wisdom, and if it's not, then it could be Power.
Yep. Well, let's find out. It's a slingshot.
Bum, 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 bum.
Wow.
Well, still useful.
It'll
give us logical spirit access. That didn't look like a key, so that is probably a very, very out of logic slingshot. And well, if you're looking for ZL locked Triforce pieces, your Triforce piece is in another castle.
Yeah, we got magic percent, by the way. We got Neru's Love, we got Din's Fire, and we got Thor's Wisdom. We got them all.
Now we just need some magic.
Well, I mean, Favio needs magic.
Favio does.
Yeah. Favio just needs to go make a trip to the tower, Check it out, see the view from up there, get some magic on the way, a souvenir.
Yeah, so the question remains, when do we go adult? Now, Ramond still needs to go river. At least
Yep.
we know that he needs to go river to
Mm-hmm.
pick up those hovers and potentially turn in Rudo's letter
Yep.
if he wants to commit to ice. Finding those hover boots might make that play more appealing, but
Mm-hmm.
he's going to have to think on his feet because you're going
Yeah.
to get those hover boots, and then probably in his mind he's going to get hover boots and plan on bailing. But when those hover boots show up, all of a sudden, freeing up a bottle to be able to do ice out of logic becomes a lot better. So can he reevaluate his plan and change it on the fly, or is he just going to stick to what he had in mind beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting decision either way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and to be clear, that slingshot is indeed locked by Goma, so that is not our first slingshot. There has to be another one out there somewhere.
There's some speculation in chat that River might be double path. So
Okay.
Fabio had actually planted the bean in Crater. So I imagine that when Fabio goes adult, getting up to Bigoron is actually going to be pretty convenient. And here comes an out of logic target in woods. Interesting. Probably not so useful this game, but I guess the fire will not be trolling Ramond this seed. That does open up Shadow 2, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's puts Fabio in an interesting position. You just need to get that magic.
Well, there is a path pointing to it, so
Yeah.
you can't imagine that it's going to take him too long to find it.
I think he's going there right now, actually. That's my gut feeling.
Yeah, it's about time to head back adult. I think Fabio has done about everything that he can do in child, so...
Yeah, no free loot, so we gotta make a little hikey hike, but, you know. Yeah, that looks like an alignment to the gate.
Yep, I mean, I think this is a solid play, and
Sure.
I imagine that Fabio, without Prelude, without Serenade, wants to get as much efficiency as he can in child, because changing ages is going to be pretty slow, and we're on the clock, right? So gotta get through everything as efficiently as possible to fit it all in under 2 hours.
Yeah, and we are already almost an hour into the seed in the first place, so it's moving fast.
Yeah, still no Triforce pieces yet, but we're going to see some new checks here. This is Goron City, and actually Ramond in a really good place here because Din's Fire is here, and this is something that he will be able to pick up if he continues on to the maze just above him.
He will. You can't skip that in his position right now. Going to get some more information. Makes sense. I mean, this is a seat where you want as much info as possible. Kakariko Path to Wisdom. Did we see that one already?
Yeah, we had seen that because that was our... Oh, was that... Yeah. We had seen that. That was I think we saw it on Fabio's side. The first
true. Yeah.
City.
I'm just thinking like if those bombs are not one, or let's say their path, then Kakariko might very well not being double path with the hints. I mean the songs the way they are. And there you go. That's Din's Fire for Ramond. I think Ramond's very much thinking of, hey, maybe I should go with Gold right now. There's a lot I can do. Oh, that's a boomerang.
Honestly, that's probably annoying for Fabio because if he had had that boomerang the first time that he went to River, he probably would have done Jabu just to get the song, because it is Forest Medallion, and knowing it's foolish, now, well, it kind of feels bad to do it, so we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless, if ZL ends up being required, that's something that we're going to need, so nice to have in the back pocket.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. I mean, Jabo, Deku, and Water are required for ZL, right? So, regardless, we need to go back there eventually.
Yeah, I think it's good to put it off, and maybe if you need to go back to Deku Tree later on, you find the Kokiri Sword, you can knock him out in one go, but Wallet's showing up on the pot, so unfortunately Child Goron City not really paying out.
Oh,
but
Ramond doesn't even want it. He's like, nah, fam,
yeah, he's got explosives, he doesn't need it. But Ramond does pick up the Dins, and now I think he probably is going to make his way to... Well, this looks like a sword chest check, but maybe after this we'll see if he ends up going to River. We do know that is the place that he needs to be, because Shadow Temple almost certainly going to be requiring those hovers, and he wants to make his way to Ice Cavern, then certainly hovers are the best way to go.
For sure. I mean, I think Favio is about to head there very soon. He's just getting some hints from his area, and getting the check, and then I think he's heading adults and gets out of here.
Yep, just very thorough, trying to make sure he hits every hit stone, and I believe this is going to be Favio's first confirmation that ZL is on Burning Cact, so Favio will have a full picture of the seed, consistent with what Ramond has, and it looks like Ramond is going to end up in Child Spirit, so I'm going to see the two runners kind of retracing each other's steps, but with the way everything looks now, I'd say slight advantage to Favio, as it looks like he's going to get back to adult first.
Where's Favio going?
This is the Castle Storms hint. This is the rarely seen third hint stone that you need storms and bombs to get to.
Yeah. This is something you see this in RSL sometimes, and you see this in Triforce Blitz. That's about it. That's another... Wait, is that our third time?
No, that's just the dupe. That's the second one.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to get some confirmation on these bomb bags. It's bothering me. I really want to know if those are Wonder or not.
I'm just very surprised that there hasn't been any overlaps in the hints. I feel like there's got to be some locations that are double path, because we've seen so many hint stones, and we have I think 5 of our paths with duplicates found already, but we only have 7 out of the 10 path hints total. So normally when that happens, I mean, it could just be luck, right? We could just be missing the other hint stones, and they can be placed in perfectly the wrong locations that we haven't checked yet. Often what happens in this case is that 1 or 2 of these hints are doubled up, and so we've just found 2 of the 4, and that's why we haven't run into the extra information.
Indeed. Well, Favio is going to go adult, and will be heading into Gamp's Castle almost certainly, getting his magic, and probably heading into Shadow right after.
Yeah, and that's going to tell us a lot, because I think conspicuously missing is the hook shot, and so that ends up in Shadow. Then that's going to open a lot of places up. And I mean, where the heck are our Triforce pieces? Like, what could possibly be a 2 at this point? I guess. I mean, there's not a whole lot of places left. I guess like Adult Spirit, potentially GTG non-hookshot blocks could be maybe.
I don't know about Adult Spirit at this point, because we need Strength 3, right? I mean, you saw that Strength... One of the Strength is in ZL's... in Zora's Domain. It's ZL locked or Scale locked.
Well, it's for sure Scale locked, because Domain is locking ZL.
Yeah, but in that case, the map is starting to get pretty tricky for Spirit Temple. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there could be a third Strength just sitting somewhere silly, like Skulls. It's not unheard of, or some other maybe like Child Lake. But yeah, I mean it's definitely weird. Like there's not a whole ton of 2s left on the map.
No, that's true. I'm thinking maybe a second hook shot might be around somewhere, and we can get something in GTG. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
but GTG is on the path of power, so certainly the power piece, really likely to be ZL locked logically.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a whole lot of items that were missing on the path to ZL that could end up being in GTG. Looking at you, Iron Boots, second hook shot, and Kokiri Sword, all top contenders for that prize.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it could be anything. There's a lot of contenders, as you said.
Yeah, Favio setting up for ice here. Probably won't do that until later because he's going to pick up that magic, and now Shadow available. So I imagine Favio will just finish up the rest of Ganon's here and give us our first peek at Shadow Temple.
Yeah, and we know there's at least 2 items in there because it's path for 2 things. It's path for power and courage.
Yeah, the question is how deep though. There's no guarantee that the power item on Shadow isn't very deep and ZL locked, and for all we know, it could be that classic Strength 3 ZL locked in Shadow Temple for Light Trial. That has not been ruled out, so we'll wait with bated breath to see where those items show up and if they show up.
Yeah, that missing hookshot though, I feel like my theory of it being hookshot for access to Forest Temple for the courage path is starting to look more and more likely. Because mathematically, it just perfectly adds up, as I described it earlier. It would just make a lot of sense, you know?
I'm worried about the seed becoming a clown fiesta.
Yeah, me too.
Because, like, if there's a piece in Adult Spirit and Favio is missing that strength upgrade, and then Shadow is locking everything else, and Ramond is missing the hovers, like, both of these runners could potentially be orphaning, like, one really important item.
Yeah.
You're not likely to get for a long time.
Yeah.
Ramond, I'm worried that this is adult. I'm worried that this is an adult play and not a river play. We'll see where he turns after he runs through CAC.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bomb back. That's, for now, bomb blocked, because we need to get Medallion from BC.
Yeah, so that's for sure not the path, but we don't really know if that's actually a bomb-locked bomb bag. Right now, our only completable dungeon is Dodongo's Cavern. So
we do need that bomb bag for that. So far, yes, but you know, we just don't know.
Yeah.
There's a good chance the bomb bag is required for Shadow Temple as well. So, you know, that can be the beatable dungeon either.
Ooh, and Ramond is turning towards the market, so this is really bad for Ramond. He's gonna miss. Oh, what?
Oh, nope, he's going river. He's reversing. He's like, actually, no, never mind.
I think this is a really critical moment because if Ramond ends up going this way, and he's going to pick up hovers, which obviously is very critical.
Yeah.
But I think more critical is the strength 2 and domain and setting up for ice.
Yeah.
This could be the play that kind of unlocks his chances for success in about 30 minutes.
For sure. I think. Oh, big chest. This could be the one. And it's. No, that ain't it.
Yes, probably not. Although that is technically our logical.
Oh, that could be for power. That could be for power, yeah. for Goma.
Yeah, potentially. I'm not holding my breath on that yet, but.
No, I mean we need to do Deku. That's unavoidable for power, right? So.
Yeah, I mean,
you technically need a slingshot for that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That would be funny though. A slingshot and path to power. You know what? I believe it is. I think that would be funny. I'm believing in the memes here. I'm expecting a hookshot to show up in this dungeon though. I really am. And if it is, I'm going to scream, by the way, because then I'm pretty sure, well, not 100%, but it's pretty likely that Forest Temple is indeed the Triforce of Courage.
Yeah, and don't forget that I believe we had fire arrows on Target and Woods. So, I mean, God forbid that Shadow 2 become a thing, but if you need Dins for Slingshot, for fire arrows for Shadow 2,
oh no.
Yeah, I hate it, but it's there.
It is, yeah, you're not wrong. And I think soon enough, we're gonna need a bomb bag to get past this point. That would lock the other bomb bag. Well, it wouldn't, actually, never mind.
So it looks like Ramond not going to elect to continue on in River. And
Yeah,
this is
it's
what I
good.
was talking about, where
Mm-hmm.
he's made his decision in his mind, like, I'm going to check Frogs 1, and then I'm going to go Adult. And it might be okay if he's able to find another bottle somewhere else. I mean, there's a bunch that are out there. But if this thing gets down to, like, 45 more minutes and we haven't made much progress, and there's a desperation ice play coming out, then Ramond is going to need to rely on some lucky models to unlock the rest of the map for him. Not to mention that Strength 2 is going to be left there for a long time.
Yeah, that could be really, really problematic. And that's not the hook shot either, or whatever it might be in here. I think it's a hook shot. It seems obvious to me.
Well, surely it's going to be Hover's Lock anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
We're expecting it to be deeper anyway. I'm sure Favio will go as far as he can, and having Furores as
It's now
well.
also bomb locked for whatever. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having Furores definitely very convenient. Going to allow Favio to probably drop that should he end up hookshot locked in the pot room. Kind of makes it nice if he needs to come back, especially if we don't see another path item. Like, we got that slingshot, and we're kind of looking for two things because slingshot isn't super convincing. So, I mean, keep an eye on these next two rooms as Ramond is going to pick up that boomerang. And, well, Ramond, this is your last chance to turn around and go to Jabu. We'll see if he will. I don't think so, but I've seen Stranger Things.
Yeah. I'm just doing the math in my head again. I have Shadow. I have Din's Fire, obviously, Magic. I have Bomb back now, Hover Boost, that's 5. Assuming for a moment, we haven't seen another Bomb back yet, so I'm going to assume that's the only one for now, right? Then if we find a hookshot here, that's 6. Then we just need Requiem and no, that's 8, right? Oh, there's a big chest. Never mind. Hold on. I feel like I'm forgetting an item. Hey, there it is.
All right, so that's probably path for something.
Yeah, you think?
Question is that the first hook, or is that going to be locking the second one? That does so. Assuming that's first hook, that puts Forest pretty deep. And again, like, we're looking at where could possibly be a 2. And to me, the only possibilities really are like GTG non-hookshot locked and Spirit Temple.
Yeah,
because there's just like the boomerang being bomb locked does allow us access to Child Spirit for those keys now. So that's not really a problem anymore. But if it's like Bomb Bag Requiem, something like that for Adult Spirit with all 3 strength upgrades available, and something in like mid Spirit Temple, or just maybe bow locked in GTG in the first room. Like, hard to have too many other locations besides those places.
Yeah. So the question now is: would you bet on the slingshot being the path, or would you keep going?
Well, you know, it's interesting because if I recall, Ramond actually left for Roars in Ganon's. So if he gets a slingshot, there's like a cool play that you could do where you get to you save quit at the end of the dead hand room.
Okay.
And then you Roars to Ganon's, check Shadow 2, and if it's nothing, then you save Scum back to Shadow. And it actually like routes perfectly, and then you also can just remove your Furores in Ganon's if you need to put it in Shadow later on.
Okay.
I don't know if Ramond is like that big brain. I'm just saying it's out there.
And there's the slingshot once again. I'm just saying, because, you know, the slingshot could very well you have to power. It logically, it would make sense. We do need to defeat Goma, and you need that item to get to her, technically speaking. So it could very well be it. So the question is, would you take the risk, right? And when you find the hookshot, fail. I think there's a good argument to be made for it, but
I don't know. I just think you got to commit to the end now.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's because for all you know, like it could be hookshot. Like, what if hookshot is 9, and like courage is deeper in shadow? Like you feel so
Yeah.
dumb.
Could be, could be. Hold on, let me do the Nocturne, Bombay, Requiem, Inuit. Din's fine. Song of Storms, that's the one I forgot. Song of Storms, Hover Magic Progress, Quick Shot. Yeah, that could be 9, right? Shots, Magic, Hover, Storms, Forest, Din. Yeah. Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, I think if you're Favio in this situation, like you don't need to go crazy. You have enough time. Like you have 55 minutes left, and there's not like an insane amount of dungeons left on the map that you probably can't get to in the time remaining. Like there's a good chance you're going to be able to do almost all of GTG. Like that's available. Ice is available. Forest is available. If you just play Donjon Rush and just check like all the dungeon checks pretty much as fast as possible, you're likely to wind up with at least 1 or 2 pieces by the time this is all done.
Oh, that Strength 2 is really bothering me though. Because Fabio missed the one in CAC. And Ramond misses the one in Domain, which is, you know, for right now out of logic, unless we find a skill somewhere, which could definitely be the case, right? Then it is accessible. That's
all right, so let's pull the block here. That's going to allow Fabio to avoid having to set furores here in Shadow, so leaves that available for potential GTG play. But yeah, I agree about the strength too. Like that is really hurting me because Fabio has played a beautiful seed so far, and that's just kind of it's just a mistake, like full stop. So
yeah,
it hurts, and this is probably Forest, I guess.
Yeah, he's out there. He's got the shortcut. He's like, I'm done. See, you know what? I think that's what I would have done. The moment I find that hookshot, I probably would have just dropped my Furores Wind and gone to Forest Temple. Because you don't know how far your opponent is along, right? Like your opponent might be further along or doing the same thing, or might also be in Shadow. And getting that Triforce piece early could be, you know, the difference. Assuming it's here. I mean, there's still other options, right? Hook shots. What else could it be? Let's assume it's the hook shot, right? That adds up to 9. Well, 8, because then we'd have to remove Minuet if it's not in here. So then we have 8. Maybe Eponas to cross the bridge and GTG. That makes 9 again. That could be it.
So, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
What I'm thinking about is we have Shadow Double Path. And we found a hookshot and a slingshot. So either that means that there's a hard ZL locked path item in Deep Shadow, or it means that slingshot is path for fire arrows.
Oh, that's yeah.
So what a mess.
Yeah. Wait. Well, we can't get any further inside of Shadow right now. Yeah. I think no, that's slingshot. I think it's a slingshot. I think it's a slingshot. We needed to get further into Shadow, right? So that's the only accessible, because the other things that we found so far is in fact ZL locked, right? So
yeah, but I think so. Chad is definitely right that it could be like slingshot just to be able to get Deku with like the third slingshot ZL lock somewhere.
Right, that's what I think.
That doesn't make you feel any better.
No, no, it's horrible.
Oh, keep in mind, Forest is path. So that's probably why Favio is doing this ahead of going GTG. Yeah. So there's going to be something here. And if we find, like, long shot here in Forest, that will really clarify a lot of the locations, because that would move anything hookshot locked to at least probably, like, 9. So it would really limit the possibilities for Wisdom to be, like, early GTG or Spirit and literally nowhere else. It's just all impossible.
Yeah, you're completely right. You're completely right. Wouldn't it be funny if the hookshot actually just wasn't Forest Temple, though? That'd be really troll. It's like, here I am. Here's the other one.
Well, I think Favio is, at least what I would be doing in this situation is just full donjon rush. Like, you can just get to all the dungeons really fast. And, I mean, everything's path, right? Like, Forest is path, GTG's path.
Yep.
You can't get to Spirit yet, but you probably want to go there as soon as you can find Strength 2.
Yep.
And if all else fails, like, you've got Ice Cavern set up, so you can do that. And, yeah, just, like, to go to all the places, it's early enough that you can afford to be wrong and just kind of check them all. With Fire Temple Baron. Now Fabio knows he's going to have to go back to Forest Temple to try and find that path. Kind of wish that Fabio would maybe go GTD ahead of Forest, just because I think it's more likely for there to be a Triforce piece there.
That's a third time we saw CAC with, though.
That's double CAC. That's double CAC.
Okay, so that has to be bombs of strength, surely.
Yeah, or bombs in Requiem, potentially.
Yeah, I think the Requiem, it's a good chance. It will add up to 9 very nicely if it's in Forest. If it's in Forest, the Requiem has to be it, because that's the only way I can make it get up to 9. If I exclude Requiem and Minuet, well, you know, they just have to be included, because otherwise you couldn't get here, right? So, yeah. If it's in Forest, it adds up to a super easy 9. In which case, it's Requiem and we need bombs. We do need bombs for Shadow Temple. We haven't found any other bombs yet, so.
Well, certainly the hookshot was bomb locked.
Yeah.
The thing that's weird though is, so that's Strength 2 in Domain is technically scale locked, and we still haven't run into any scales. So,
I mean, fishing.
Yeah. What if it's Strength? Like, it's not impossible. Like, the Strength could lock all different strengths.
Absolutely, yeah, you're not wrong.
And of course, there's the outside chance of 10 skulls having something. So, like, we really can't have nice things in this seed.
No.
It's really been kind of a mess for both of our runners, and it's going to be a really exciting conclusion, because we will be seeing one Triforce piece this seed at a minimum. I guarantee it.
Oh wait, no, hold on. I just realized something, Ela. If it isn't, let's say it's an adult spirit, right? Which I thought for a moment is really unlikely, but it's one of the only few players that makes sense. But I'm like, yeah, but you need strength too, and that one strength is locked behind either scale or ZL, right? One of the two. And you know, scale might just be really easily accessible. But I'm just thinking, even if it wasn't, if it's still accessible to get at strength free, eventually. Since it's such a low path count, that could just it could literally be like, yeah, you need to do all of the entire, you know, 17 path power or whatever, you know, and get OoT and or whatever, so it gets ZL and whatever, and it could still be that you don't require, like, you know, that it would still be all 3 strengths accessible before you get to the second path in Wisdom.
Would you like me to make your head hurt?
Yes, please. Why not? It already does, but go on.
All right. So, we know that CAC is double path for Wisdom.
Yeah.
And that means that Epona's is confirmed not path for Wisdom, because it can't be.
Yeah, it can't be.
However, what if Requiem is locking Epona's and both hooks?
Huh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's... where are you going with this? I don't get it.
Well, that could potentially make it GTG as a 2.
No, I don't know. No. I just think it's a case. Okay, I think it's Adult Spirit. I kind of had a gut feeling early. I'm going to stick by it. And I think it's just a really weird case where the seed doesn't really care when you go there. So it just basically expects you to clear the entire game just to find all 3 strengths, so to give you multiple ways of getting there. That's what I think it is.
Well, we are going to get a blast from 45 minutes ago when we were thinking that Claim Check was path, because it looks like Ramond is headed over there. So we will get a final verdict on whether River is double path or not in a moment.
Because in that case, it would just be Requiem, right? Requiem and
Oh, there's a Deku path, by the way.
Oh, that's that's gross. No, well that's another easy one to add onto the path because now you know you look at Kiwi Sword too.
That's a classic place for something like Iron Boots or Second Hook.
Or skill, maybe even.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, second hook too, especially if the Kokiri sword is locked by the hook shot or something. I don't know, something stupid like that. Yeah, Deku can be a real troll. It can be really trolly. Where's your path skill, Pyra? We don't know. We haven't found any skills yet in this game. That ain't it either. That's a bomb.
So the good news for Favio is that he's getting close to the end of Forest Temple. Forest Temple normally really slow, but in Triforce Blitz you kind of route things backwards, and so by the time you're to this point of Forest Temple, you're actually pretty close to the end.
Right. Yeah.
Still awaiting the appearance of our path item, but
yeah,
and pause that because we got Big Goron.
Yeah, and at this point, by the way, Force Temple is at least strength locked. So if it is in Force Temple, we can conclude that there's 2 strengths available, because otherwise the path would have to be 10. Unless there's multiple bomb bags. Never mind. Yeah, so yeah, okay.
So that is the 4th wisdom, or yeah, the 4th CAC wisdom hint. So I think Ramond also knows that wisdom is double CAC as the path.
Yeah. Still no trace of this path item, though.
Actually, no, I take it back because there is Kokiri. There's is Hyrule Castle Storms and Deku Tree. So actually, I don't think that Ramond has seen the second copy.
He hasn't. No, for sure he hasn't. I don't know. I think, I think Favio is looking really good right now. I'm
almost wondering if this is going to come down to
just
who finds the first Triforce piece first, because
yeah, it might come down to who finds courage. We might. I feel like wisdom is really troll on the sea. At this point it has to be, right. At this point,
his strength is gonna mess us up, and it's gonna lock both of our runners out of one piece that might be otherwise pretty shallow.
Yeah. Same. Oh well. At any rate, we don't have many checks left here in Forest, so we are about to find out what our path item is in here. Has to be. It might be right here.
And so that was GTG as double. So that means that there's now 2 path items in GTG.
Ooh.
So that's all of our paths now. So we've got them all accounted for. And I mean, like we expected, right? It's do all the dungeons, haha. But Favio is doing this on purpose. Going to use Furores to hop back up there after killing the Stalfos.
Yeah,
I had a little question for a second before I realized what was going on.
Yeah, this is a really cool routing trick you basically only see in Triforce Blitz. You see it in RSL really rarely, but in Triforce Blitz this happens surprisingly often. This kind of weird. Ooh, that's big. If that's the Triforce piece, that makes sense, because then we don't use strength. It's... Oh, my lord!
Favio is going to be so irritated, because I think Ramond might get that and just bail immediately.
Oh, yeah, that's true, but there's a very good... There's still a possibility of a Triforce piece in here, I think.
So, all right, that clarifies a lot. So we were thinking about that earlier, about how all hook shots are now locked behind Shadow, so that's confirmed now. That Shadow is first hook, so that means that where we're at right now is we're in like the 9 to 10 path item range for anything that's hookshot locked, which means that Wisdom for sure is not hookshot locked.
For sure, yeah. So that leaves the Adult Spirit, surely.
Yeah, and like some early checks in GTG as basically the only possible places.
Yeah. Ooh, another big one. Hold on. Oh, no. I saw the gold for him. I was like, oh, there it is, but no.
So this is a really big play. Ramond is going straight to GTG now, and I think this is the place to be.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, it's double path. It's
That's-
got a backdoor chance of running into wisdom.
True.
So,
yeah, you're right.
I mean, I think if you had to pick one place that you can go on the map right now, this is at the top of the list.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. I actually really agree with you. And that long shot checks out. You know, we need it for Water Temple. We still need Iron Boots. Oh god, I imagine if the Iron Boots are in GGG. There's a very good chance, right? We're also still looking for a Kokiri sword. Wouldn't it be so funny if we needed Iron Boots just to do sword?
I'm telling you, there's going to be a path scale showing up before too long. Like, it's going to happen. There's so many path items that we have unhinted, and I mean, we're not missing like a whole ton of things, right? Like, we have both hook shots, so we just need irons and we need Kokiri sword to get to ZL. But like, look at all the path items that we have unhinted. We've got 2 items in GTG and we've got 1 in Deku Tree.
Yeah,
so that's like three items remaining for only 2 path items.
Yep.
And we know that whatever's in Deku Tree is, well, I guess it could be irons, but so I think the 3 items that we're missing for ZL are Scale, Kokiri Sword, and irons. And if those are just the 3 items in GTG and Deku Tree, then it kind of all makes sense.
Yeah. That was a small chest, right? So it ain't here.
Yeah. Favio's out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to be ice? That's the question.
It's a good chance. Oh, but this is
song.
Oh, this is so good for Ramond. I think the only place where the Triforce of Courage could be is in GTG at this point. I don't think there's any other place.
I've said that like 5 times already.
I know you have. Hey, to be fair, I did call the hook shot in Forest Temple.
It still could be like Spirit Trial and Gans though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Wait, could it? You need long shot for that, right? No, that would make 10. That wouldn't work. No, that's not true actually. Unless there's multiple bombs available, then there isn't. Then it's 8. Then it's 9. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. It could be there.
Yeah, I was saying Spirit Trial for Courage.
Yeah. For Courage for sure.
Big chest. Is this Wisdom?
It's Iron Boots. Okay.
Well, that's weird.
I called it though. Okay. Seriously. Please, game, give this to me. Kokiri Sword and Toilet. I want to see it.
So with those Iron Boots, that now unlocks even more out of logic ZL checks that we can do, because now there's like half of Water Temple that we can get to out of logic without ZL. Yeah. And that also means that Iron Boots are not going to be in Deku Tree, so kind of the only thing that could be in Deku Tree is maybe like a Scale?
Scale, maybe? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it has to be, surely. That makes sense. Because we need Jabu access somehow, and ZL isn't gonna do it.
What a mess!
Yeah, this is well, that's my side done. The new generator is so evil. I swear, the frequency of these seeds is just so regular.
we had like 2 baby seeds, but then I mean it's game 3. Oh wow, we're on 6.
Yeah, what a recovery! Oh, that was awesome. That was really cool. Well done.
It was anti-swag into swag.
Oh yeah. Nah, it was just pure swag. You fuck up, but you still recover so smoothly. That was pretty cool. I respect.
So we're kind of, I think, expecting Kokiri Sword to show up in GTG somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're now in hookshot lock checks, so unless it's Courage, unlikely to see any Triforce pieces in these.
I think we're gonna find Courage here. I think the odds are extremely high.
Well, we're kind of running out of places to look. There's a big chest.
Oh, that could be it. Oh, okay. Well, not it couldn't be in the toilet. By the way, I know that. I knew that.
So now what do you do if you're Ramond? So right now, Ramond has everything that he needs to go get ZL. But if he's going to do that, he's got to do 3 dungeons. And he's got to think about how he wants to route all of this because he has no Serenade. So getting to water, really the best time to get to water is now because you can just run down from Garuda Valley and get to Hylia that way. But then you also have to think about if you're going to commit to out-of-logic ZL checks in water. So there's really a lot of tough decisions for Ramond about whether he's going to try and commit to ZL. And I mean, even though it's available, it doesn't necessarily feel that good because there's 2 pieces that surely he knows are not ZL locked that are just chilling out there. Yep. And if he prioritizes ZL, maybe he can't get to those other 2 pieces, but hold that thought.
Hold that thought. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. And there it is. The first Triforce piece has been located by Ramond, putting him in the lead. The time is ticking for Favio right now. He really needs to find 2 pieces in 35 minutes.
Yeah, so that is 100% courage.
Yeah, it has to be.
That is hookshot locked.
Yeah, that's up to 9. Okay, I think I know the path to wisdom then. I think the odds at this point of the bomb bag being path are extremely high. I think to get to make it so that adult spirit can be wisdom, 3 strengths need to be available, right? We agree on that. Otherwise, it's impossible. I think it is Requiem and bomb bag. I think the bomb bag logs one of the strengths.
Yeah, I mean, we're basically out of options unless it's exactly here in the maze.
True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if it's not here, it has to be adult spirit.
There's a big chest that is very out of logic.
Yeah, it is. I don't think this can be it, actually, now that I think about it. And it isn't. It's another sling.
Oh dear. That's that's probably Deku locked, so that probably confirms the slingshot in Shadow, to be honest.
It does, doesn't it? This seed is so bad. Like I said, a two-path wisdom piece, it can be so deceiving. You think, oh, that's gonna be easy, but it can be so deep in the most convoluted ways possible. And I think at this point we can pretty safely say it is going to be adult spirit. It is going to be strength locked. The strengths are Wanderer, all 3 of them for that check. So yeah, I'm gonna say Requiem bombs as the path. I think that adds up.
Yeah, I think it pretty much has to be at this point. The only other thing that I could possibly think of in some sort of insane world would be like Shadow 2, because we do have fire arrows and long shot and hovers available. So
yeah, you're right.
With that, but it's kind of hard to imagine it being anything other than like really early in adult spirit.
Yeah, like it cannot be the Z. Well, no, it cannot be ZL. That would be on the left side, right? That one cannot be it. That would make. Well, no, depends on where the strengths are.
I think it would have to be exactly in the right side adult chest.
I think so too. Yeah, I'm gonna say right side adult. What about you, Ela?
Well, I mean, I literally just said that, so that's
yeah. But are you willing to put to stake a bet on it? That's what I meant.
I'm scared, honestly. I think what's more interesting is what Favio does after GTG, because we're starting to get close to the end here, and ice looms large.
It does. It really does. Oh man. You know, Favio could still win. He finds a Triforce piece in GTG, and then for some reason realizes, oh shit, man on the roof. I didn't do it. Gets it. Goes to Strength 2. Locked stuff in Adult Spirit, which is all freezer Adult Spirit, never mind. And then we find that it's there. He can still win this, but he has to do that. That's the problem. That's the issue.
Yeah. He's going to do that. I don't think that Man on Roof is going to get checked. I think the more likely path to victory is either just an out of logic with power piece in ice, or there's potential for like a out of logic strength 3 in fountain. That opens up spirit to get kind of backdoor into the wisdom piece, something like that. It's not impossible, but certainly Ramond making the play to abandon Forest Temple aggressively has allowed him to get to GTG first, while Favio, kind of the victim of some unlucky routing in Forest Temple, but at the same time, like Ramond, that aggression has given him that powerful tiebreak, and we talked about, if you get Wisdom and Courage first, like there's a very good chance that that's going to be enough this seed, and Ramond has put himself in the position to make that happen, and it's up to Fabio to change the situation and make a comeback.
Yeah, and what you said we are expecting to find a scale in here, right? That's the only thing that makes sense at this point.
Yeah, a scale or something leading to a scale.
I agree.
For ZL.
Yeah, because I've been writing down my notes, like just the options that could be there, and obviously I have all 9 of the courage path, because that pretty much seems obvious at this point. I add a long shot that makes 10, Kokiri, so it makes 11. Iron boots would make 12. Assuming, do we need iron boots? We need iron boots, right?
Logically, yes. We need it for Water Temple to get to ZL.
Right, yeah, okay. So that would make 13. Then we can add ZL for 14, right? Because at some point we're going to need leather and boomerang. That would make 16. Scale would make 17. Yeah, that makes sense. But that scale would have to be pretty much here, doesn't? Because everything else is pretty much already accounted for at this point. That would make sense, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then ZL being the last item. Certainly possible. I mean...
Do you think it's just ZL and then bomb the well? A 17-path bomb the well? Hey! There it is.
Yeah, so we called it.
We called it. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I think the Triforce Blitz is involved as well. That'll be funny.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, we had that big chest that was ZL locked in the front. Another big chest here. Let's see if this is anything interesting.
Yeah. Or it could be something really dumb, like maybe the Water Temple. That would be so stupid. But it's possible, right? ZL locks quite a few things in Water Temple.
I mean, there's a lot of really bad possibilities for ZL locked Triforce pieces. Certainly ice, deeper in shadow, deeper in water, bottom of the well. Like, it's all over the place. And our runners definitely do not have enough time to hit all of those places. So we're going to see what they do. But Favio getting that Triforce piece, about to finish up GTG, and now what do you do, Favio?
If I were Favio, well, if I'm only me and I have all the information I have, if I were to play this seat right now, I think his only chance of winning this still in this seat is to go to Ice Cavern and hoping it's there. Because you can get there out of logic. That's the only thing really that you can do that is CL locked in this position, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I would go to Ice Cavern.
Yeah, it's just a really hard decision to make because he knows that he's got everything he needs to be able to get ZL. And he's got 28 minutes. So he knows, like, if he commits to ZL, he has enough time to do it all.
Yeah.
But there's so few places he can go after he gets it that it might be even better to just not get ZL and try to do as many ZL checks as possible out of logic.
Yep.
But
agree.
That strength too. I'm telling you, like, if wisdom ends up in the beginning of spirit like we think it is, like, that's so painful.
It is, and that strength, whether it's from Zora's the main or Man on the Roof, is hanging over this as a sword of Damocles over these two runners. It's literally it's what could be the thing that decides the finals.
So Favio heading towards water now. So now even more decisions that are very interesting looming for Favio, because he needs to decide, is he just going to go to Morpha and just get that medallion as quickly as possible? Or is he going to take his shot and try to clear some out-of-logic checks in Water Temple and maybe just go straight for the power piece?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I know what I would do, but it's either way is kind of justifiable.
Yep.
It's a big decision, and we're gonna see what he makes it. I'm glad I don't have to make it in a high pressure race like this because
Yeah.
the whole tournament is potentially riding on these decisions coming down to the wire here.
Yeah, it really is. This is very tense. It's hard to say who's going to win this. If maybe Fabio locks upon another strength somewhere, and then it's over, right? Then he can just go get that Triforce piece in the Spirit Temple, assuming it's there. I'm very confident. I would stake money on it. That's how confident I am at this point.
And it's interesting that Ramond is now committing to the ZL play, but this is actually giving an opportunity for Favio, because if Favio is able to lock down an out of logic Triforce piece, maybe that ZL one, the ZL locked one, then there's this window of time where Favio could find it and pretty much lock up the win, because there's no way that Ramond is going to be able to get to all three pieces, I think, with the time he's got left. I think Ramond is like, I'm going to get to ZL, and I'm going to check bottom of the well, and if it's not bottom of the well, then
GG.
yeah, like maybe ice as like a desperation play, but it looks scary. So there's no risk-free way to play this seed anymore. You just try and maximize the number of ZL checks that you can do, and it's even worse because you know that there's that big ZL chest in bottom of the well that's just taunting you. Bad luck there for Favio. No key in that first chest, so he's got a few more chances. He's looking for 2 keys to kind of unlock more, or maybe he's just going to go straight to Morphin now. That looks like he took his shot, and maybe he's not going to do the full commitment.
Yeah, that's definitely what he's doing. Yeah, I don't know what to say. The seed is at this point, I don't think there are any good choices left anymore, if I'm really honest with you.
Well, everything's scary.
Everything is scary, that's for sure, yeah. I don't think there's any good choice anymore. I think there's only good guesses at this point. That's what I'm gonna say. The time pressure is just so high at this point that, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and the execution is so stressful because every single trick that you mess up, every single 30 seconds to a minute you lose, is potentially one more ZL lock check that you're not going to get to before the time limit. And if that ZL lock check is the one that has your Triforce piece, that could literally be the difference between winning the tournament and getting second place.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
So here's the moment of truth for Favio. He's going to finish up Morpha here. I imagine that he's going to take the warp no matter what. But if it's a key, which it is, does he come back into water? That's the decision point here. Or does he go child and is going to end up following Ramond's footsteps and try to pick up ZL?
So Ramond's skipping the strength here. You hate to see it. I mean, these players are just running past it.
It feels bad, but it's 1,000,000% justifiable, and like 100% of the time I would do the exact same thing in a situation. You don't have time to check random overworld checks. You have to, like, if you're playing for ZL, you've got to go for ZL. You've got 22 minutes left, and you've got Jabu and another dungeon to go to. Like, you just don't have time.
Yeah, true. You're very right. But it does hurt. That's a hammer.
Well, that's not helpful. Fire's burning. So
don't pick it up. Leave it. Leave it. You don't need it. No, Favio, we don't need this. We have no reason to go to Fire Temple.
Yeah, it's so hard to just see it and not leave it behind. But
it is. These are costly seconds right now in this seed.
All right, this looks like Prelude. So yeah, it looks like Favio is going to be going child. So I mean, I think this is really good for Ramond. Because they're basically doing the same thing, but Ramond is doing it about 5 minutes faster.
Yeah, that's completely right. Ramond does still have to walk back to the lake. That is true, Shanok. That is a good point.
But Favio has to do all of Deku Tree in addition to this.
Well, actually, That might not be entirely true. If Jabu's Forest Medallion, we might very well get Serenade from Shaik in Time of Time, and that
Yeah,
will get.
there's no way that. Oh, it's true. Yeah, for Ramond, yes, that's definitely true.
Yeah, might save him quite a few, a couple minutes actually. Righty. I think actually there's a pretty good chance that Serenade is there. The odds are good, you know. The odds aren't terrible. Good grief.
I'll be perfectly honest. I really wish one of the runners had committed to the out of logic route for ZL because it would have been a really cool contrast.
Yeah.
Because like if Favio ends up like checking all the ZL lock stuff in water, and then goes out of logic to ice, you're getting like so many potential ZL lock checks.
Yeah, you're right.
And then Ramond going the other route, but instead, I mean, if you're rooting for Ramond to take, I mean, the upset question mark, then you got to be feeling pretty good right now because I'd say Ramond's position is commanding at where we're at the seed.
Yeah, for sure. The question, I think the upset was him beating Cola. I think that was really the moment where he really started turning people's head. Like, wait, what's going on here? This is not expected. And what I think is so cool in this entire tournament is how we've basically just seen Ramond evolve as a runner altogether. Because from where he was at the beginning of this tournament to where he is now, he's grown so much in terms of his like mechanical abilities and his just general skill at playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, his decision making is very, I would say, like definitive and
Sure.
it kind of takes me back to season 3 of the main tournament when it's all about the players kind of have their own brand that they would play with, and they have their own distinctive styles.
Yep.
And I think Ramond has kind of made his mark and plays in a very unique way that nobody else is really doing so much. And it makes it really exciting to watch because every race you watch with them, you get that clash of styles where Favio is a little bit more traditional in his routing and a little bit more thorough, and Ramond is just like, I'm going to play like a psychopath. And it's going to be great. And I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Yeah, Ramond kind of reminds me of the Stars object of Triforce Blitz in many ways. Just really aggressive plays that you think they shouldn't work out, but they do. I mean, they didn't work out for Stars object that much actually. Now I think about it, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, Stars object had a really good performance in this tournament as well on running into Favio in the opening round, which is a really horrible draw in terms of just having like 2 really expert level players matched up. And that epic game 2 that if you've seen it, you won't forget it. That was one of the best moments of this entire tournament, where there was just I think a 30-second difference between the tiebreaker Triforce piece being found, and if Favio hadn't pulled that out, he wouldn't be in the main bracket finals. So highly consequential. But enough of the past. We've got more excitement coming up here. 18 minutes left, and everything's still to play for. And Ramond heading into Water Temple. This is the final thing that he needs to do on the way to unlocking ZL. And once that's done, Ramond's probably going to have about 15 minutes or so with ZL, and he's going to have to pick his shot. Can he nail down the place with that 17 power piece and win this tournament by getting 2 pieces outright? Or is this going to go to a tiebreak where they only have 1 Triforce piece and Ramond's aggressive GTG play making the difference? Or can Favio somehow no-scope the right location and come from behind and take it all? It's all to play for.
Yeah. What I'm worried about, the worst case for Ramond in terms of finding a Triforce piece is if the Triforce of Power is in the Water Temple. I think that's probably the worst situation.
Yeah, it's going to be painful no matter what because the piece is going to be available somewhere, and it's just a matter of like going to the right place. And if that piece is available out of logic somewhere, accessible the whole time,
Oh yeah,
then
Ice
it's just going
Cavern.
to feel really bad because it's like invariably the runners were going to have the option to have gone there, whether it would have been an ice
Yep.
or water temple or whatnot. Like it was there for the taking potentially, or maybe it will just be hard ZL locked and they made the best play. But we're going to know in these next 15 minutes.
In DVR. These are going to be. I'm going to just say this. It's going to be some butt clenching last 15 minutes of this seed.
Every big chest is going to be so scary.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're just gonna be here like, oh my god, this could be it.
All right, so that is the last medallion that Ramond needs for ZL. Surely going to be taking the trip over to the Nocturne and Favio, forgetting that he doesn't have ZL, and he's going to have to get that chicken to go all the way in. Be classic, no Serenade available as per tradition, strikes again, but not going to be a big deal. What is Favio doing?
I don't know, Fabio maybe stressed out a bit, maybe feeling nervous. Who knows?
I mean, everything's amplified so much. Like every single mistake checks, ZL lock checks that are going to go unopened.
Yeah. I've been informed of something really important that I want to draw attention to. That matters a lot to me. Both of the Triforce Blitz finalists are keyboard players. I am vindicated, finally!
Spirit of FMZ inhabiting both of these runners.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Keyboard warriors, just like me. That feels good, man.
All right, we have ZL. Where does Ramond go? There are like 4 places that he could choose to track down. Is this Deep Shadow?
Oh, God. Yeah, that might be.
Okay, this is probably not the place that I would have checked first.
No.
But that's where we're going.
Yeah, this would be last on my list, personally. maybe, no, Water Temple would still come higher than this for me, I think. This,
I mean, surely you go bottom of the well first. I think
yeah,
that's like,
that big chest,
the big
right?
chest. Just how can you leave it?
Yeah, that's hard ZL lock too. I would just immediately check it. Immediately. But we are instead doing deep shadow. having to do the slow ass boat ride. Oh man, I don't like this one. I don't like this one at all.
Well, I mean, it's going to make for an exciting finish, right? Because Favio is going to zoom through Jabu, and if this ends up not being it, then I imagine that Shadow and Jabu are going to be finished very close to each other, and we could have a race to bottom of the well. Boy, it's going to be a nail biter.
Imagine if it's not bottom of the well. Imagine that big chest is just trolling us, and it's just some stupid gold scale or something.
I mean, that would make a lot of sense, right? We know that the other scale is almost certainly ZL locked.
I mentioned that one for a reason. Could be a mirror shield. I mean, there's actually quite a few items that could still be.
If we've done the math right, there can't be any more items that we need. I think ZL has to be the last item. And so anything that we find kind of behind ZL is likely not a thing.
Yeah, we ran the math on it earlier. Well, I did. And ZL adds up exactly to 17. Like, after that, you can't add anything else onto that list. It's just 17 is ZL exactly. In fact, if the audience wants, I am more than happy to list the items that I have written down here. I have assumed the bomb bag at this point. I think that's a surefire bet. It would be all the stuff on the path to courage, which includes the bomb bag, as far as I'm concerned. Then we need a long shot, key sword, progressive scale 1 or 2. The one in Decatry, obviously, right? ZL will be on it. What else did I have here? I have the slingshot on it, of course. The troll slingshot. The iron boots will be on it. Rivers leather.
Big chest, big
and-
chest.
Yeah, big chest. Never mind. But yeah, that's up to 17, is what I'm saying.
Oh, bomb bag. Okay.
Speaking of bomb bags.
All right, and so that brings us down to one check left in Shadow because this Floor Master chest is going to be a key. So the only chance for Ramond to pick up the Triforce piece here is going to be on Bongo Bongo.
Oh.
And where are we going? Why are we getting skulls? Oh god.
Ramond. Ramond? I have questions.
All right. Well, so this timing is going to be really crazy. Favio is done with Jabu and is going to be making his way back adult to pick up ZL, and he's going to have probably about 9 minutes with ZL to try and make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
And where will Favio go? Can he get the 1 out of 4, roughly, that we're looking at for that last, well, I guess that power piece?
Mm-hmm.
And steal the championship away from Ramond, who currently is holding that tiebreaker.
Yeah. Oh, this is crazy. Honestly, this is really crazy. This is this is nuts for sure.
So often, like ZL seeds like this end up in this situation where it's just right down to the wire, where you have ZL and you don't have enough time to check everything. And keep in mind, like, all the mistakes that the runners have made earlier in the seed, like the minor routing things, they're magnified so much now because every minute, every 2 minutes that could have been saved by routing things more clean, skipping a check here and there, are now potential, like, dungeons even that are not going to be checked with the championship on the line. It just goes to show how, when you have a seed like this, the execution adds up so much and can be that line that separates you from finding the Triforce piece at 159 for finding the Triforce piece at 201.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. You're completely right. I can't watch.
Fabio, where are we going?
Yeah. Oh my god, it's
Don't
going
tell me
to
this is Man on Roof.
It is.
Oh my god.
Oh my
what are we
god.
going to do?
No.
Oh god, what do you do?
Oh my
Oh
god.
no. What do you do?
No. You go Adult Spirit, surely, right?
No, he's going.
No!
Here. No, not Shadow.
Oh. Don't do it.
Oh, I'm hurting. I'm hurting.
I am hurting.
So I think maybe what the play is maybe Favio and Ramond thought that that the slingshot was not path, and they were expecting the last path item to be just in deep shadow. But yeah, I mean, with Favio going into shadow, I just don't see any way that he can possibly get to either of the pieces. He needs to. Well, I mean, maybe he'll have a chance to dip into the first 2 checks of Adult Spirit after he finishes Shadow. And we think that there's a Triforce piece there, but, I mean, he's got to be really clean here for the rest of Shadow to even have a chance.
Yeah. This is so painful to watch. Why, Fafio? Why? I don't get it.
Well, it's just a mistake, because it's easy for us to keep track of everything, but we know that the slingshot is path, but it's so hard to, like, keep track of all that in a 17 seed. It's unbelievable, and maybe Favio thinks that it's just going to be like strength 3 in deep shadow for light trial or something like that. We know that's not the case, but he can definitely be thinking that.
Yeah, that's true. I can't. This seed. I just no.
All right, so Ramond is going to be checking 10 skulls. So, what a dramatic mess we have with these 7 minutes. Ramond, where are you going next?
Yeah. Also, I will say I have the command ready to unlock this seed after the race ends, so we can actually have answers. Because I don't think we're going to be finding them in this race. We might still, but time is running out.
Okay, so this
I
is
do.
Prelude. This has got to be bottom of the well. So we are going to see that first big chest in bottom of the well before time runs out. And if this, if that's the Triforce piece, then Ramond is going to lock down this championship because there is no way that Fabio is getting to 2 Triforce pieces in 6 minutes.
Yep, for sure. Hold on, there's an insect on the wall, and I'm gonna have to squash it because there's a bitey one. I want bitey ones.
All right, Fabio about to get debated by the big chest in this room. Ramond playing Nocturne, going to get to bottom of the well. Will this
Got
be
him.
the answer?
Strength 3 and well.
Chest that's been taunting us this whole seed, or is it, I don't know, the Mirror Shield?
Yeah. You know what? Strength 3 and well. Yeah, I could see that. You know, I can see it.
I just think the Strength 3 is too much.
Why would it be too much?
If it were for Light Trial.
No. I mean, for Adult Spirit, we need to be able to find Strength 3 somewhere. Because Strength 3 cannot be Strength 2 locked. Then it cannot be an Adult Spirit.
Yeah, that's fair.
And at this point, with all we have solved, I don't think it could be anywhere else.
All right, well, Fabio going to make his way to Bongo now. By the time Bongo's dead, there's going to be about 3 minutes left. So there will be time, if Fabio chooses, to go Requiem and do those first 2 checks in Spirit Temple. It is possible, and we do think that there is a Triforce piece there. So this could be decided at the death. Like, we got 5 minutes left. Everything is coming down to this. Pretty much the dream for extreme value here. But don't go anywhere because there's still everything to play for and not a whole lot of time to play for it.
Yeah. Every single decision, every single movement they make, everything matters.
Oh, Ramond, open the chest!
Oh, God. Are they doing this on purpose? Are they just playing with my heart?
It's not even internal screaming anymore. It's just actual screaming.
No, it's just internal agony at this point. My heart, my soul has turned into the stone of agony.
Oh my God, it's a big chest.
My lord.
It's a bow.
God, I can't with the seed. I just can't with the seed. Yeah, that hand is a key. You're completely right, Chanok. It has to be.
Wow, really nice one cycle by Fabio.
Yeah, wow.
There. It matters so much.
Yeah, in this seed, those seconds are worth gold right now.
Could potentially be the difference between gold and silver on multiple levels.
Yeah, you're right. That's very clever. You're really good at the idioms today.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
You shoot enough shots and you hit something. At Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, you're hitting a lot and you're missing a little today.
Did he, Ramond?
Did he save before? Did he miss it? There's no way he peeked it right earlier. Surely.
I feel like he's scum to adult. Yeah. He's oh my God! Please don't let that piece be there.
I can't. This is too much.
Where now?
Well, Fabio, come on, Fabio. Go, right. go Spirit. Spirit.
All right, it's Requiem. We're going to see. Oh my. It's so dramatic. Is this the wisdom piece? Will we be, will we be correct about first to find wisdom and courage wins this race? Fabio needs to get to both of these checks in the next 2 minutes and 30, and maybe he's going to have the dramatic come from behind victory at the death. It's all down to this.
You know, yeah, it would be so deserved though. Fabio has been here from the start, as you said. It would be such I mean, I couldn't imagine. I mean, they're both insanely deserving players. Let me be real here, right? I'm not playing favoritism, but Fabio taking this tournament would be very exciting. Is all I'm saying.
I mean, you can tell by the performance that both of these racers have put on that both of them are absolutely deserving of winning this thing. And
Too
Fabio
many.
going to the right side first, so we were thinking that this is it. So if there's
It cannot be the other.
here,
If
it could be it.
If it's not here, where is it? That's what I'm asking, right? What other
The only
two
thing I
checks?
can think of is Shadow 2.
Yeah. Oh my lord, I can't
It's
watch.
big. It's big.
It's big. I can't look. I can't look.
It's gold.
No.
Unbelievable. Fabio coming all the way back.
Oh,
90 seconds left and is going to win the first ever Triforce Blitz Tournament. Unbelievable. What a dramatic ending.
Incredible.
And, after all of that, all of those cack hints pointing back to man on the roof, getting that strength to, getting the wisdom and courage pieces, and now, oh, wow, what a finish. Unbelievable.
Incredible.
He's in the chat for Fabio.
Yeah. Just, well, I mean, there's really no question left anymore, but for the sake of ceremony and, good etiquette, we are going to wait, of course, 45 seconds left before we can really declare him anything, but
I'm
the writing
really,
is on the
really
wall.
hoping that third piece is not in bottom of the well now, because that would be the absolute worst way to lose a tournament, is just to walk by that potential clinching piece and then to lose it.
What's
30
Fabio
seconds
doing?
later.
Fabio is going to go there. I think we're going to see it regardless.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe we'll get a one peek. I don't think Fabio can get it before the time limit hits, but we should be able to find out what it is.
Yeah. We can probably just ask him during the interview if you could just go check it real quick, please. Pretty please. And 6 more seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, everything in between and beyond, give it up for your Season 1 Triforce Blitz Tournament champion. It is favio94. What a crazy game, honestly, is all I can say to this one.
I mean, this is everything you could possibly dream of for a deciding championship race, like Game 3 decided with barely more than a minute left, the dramatic swings, some sketchy decision making, but really solid play, really good.
Hold on.
And let's see if this is actually the third piece.
Well, that's good news for Ramond, at least.
Okay, I think we're all happy to see that. We're all happy to see that.
I am, yeah. Oh, God. Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, I called it start to see, right? I was hoping for a nail biter, something really close, and we did get that in the end. All right, let's get these great players in.
Yeah, maybe we can get the spoiler log unlocked, and you can do the reveal once they're both in the interview.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
And while you're busy with that,
I've already done it.
Okay. Well, while we're busy getting the runners in for the interview, if they're able to join us, I want to remind everybody that I will be doing an announcement about something new. At the end of the Wanderer bracket finals, we're still waiting on the semifinals to conclude, and I believe that race is going to be tomorrow evening to decide the other finalist. But our resident in chat, Netherian, will be going up against the winner of, I believe, EgoDev and Krez.
Yes.
And so that EgoDev and Krez will be playing tomorrow night. So stay tuned. There's some more stuff coming from myself, and that will be announced at the end of the Wanderer bracket. But this was the end of the main bracket, so congratulations again to Fabio from the very start. An early adopter of these settings, participating in the show match when we announced everything, and just what an incredible performance in this race. And also congratulations to Ramond. This was, I think, his breakout performance, and I think he absolutely, deserved to be a winner, and unfortunately Fabio just pulled it out at the death. But Ramond played so well with an amazing distinctive style and really won me over, and I think can't wait to see his performances in future tournaments as well. Certainly going to become a well-known name if he continues to to play in randomizer events.
Yeah, so I have to spoil log. I'm not gonna say anything yet. I will not be unlocking it just yet on the website because I think it's more fun if we feel it here. But I know at this point, so let's get the runners in here if they want to do an interview. I hope at least Savio will be here.
Yeah, so there, Favio just said he wanted a minute to cool down, so I can certainly understand that. I mean, I don't know why we had any nerves going on with finding that Triforce piece with a minute and a half left just to win the title, but yeah, let's give them a minute before we subject them to our harsh questions and reveal the location of that final piece and whether it was in fact an ice cavern like it would be Trolley.
Yeah.
I think in the meantime, it is the perfect moment to say thank you to everyone who made this restream happen and who made this tournament happen. All the runners, all the volunteers, all the people behind the scenes who worked to make this thing go. So, one shout out to our runners. First of all, obviously, follow our runners, Favio and Ramond. If you haven't yet, please give them a follow here on Twitch and give them all the love because they put on a heck of a show today. Also, of course, thank you so much to our trackers, Ginger, Sonny, and Shannock, who helped us keep track of this seed that was very worthy of a finals game, I think.
Yeah, holy shit.
Holy shit, it was.
Yeah.
And, thank you also to Elagatua and Spell for both providing commentary today, as well as ideating this entire tournament and making the Triforce Blitz generator happen. So thank you all so much for putting in your time here. Also, of course, thank you to Ginger Sonny for also race monitoring today, putting in a double duty. And I'm going to see if I can't find ourselves some runners.
Yeah.
Ready for interview, question mark.
I also think I would like to thank all the runners and the viewers, of course, as well, for making the tournament possible and interesting. I think it's been I don't want to speak for Eli here, but at least for me, this has been an incredible journey from beginning to end. I remember checking Eli's stream, just doing this Triforce Blitz thing, and I just kind of stumbled into it. Can't really believe where it's gotten us at this point, honestly. But yeah. And I wanted to thank everyone for the overwhelmingly positive feedback on the website. It's been really well received. It humbled me a lot, and that's all I will say on it.
All right, and we've got Ramond in. So welcome in, Ramond. Congratulations on a great performance. Unfortunately, Favio snuck it out at the very end, but I thought you had an amazing performance this seed, and we thought you might have had it in the bag until. You'll have to go back and watch it if you're willing to stomach it. But it was looking like you had it locked down for about an hour and 58 minutes.
Yeah, I agree with that one. We're just waiting here for Favio. Of course, I know where the last Triforce piece is at this point. I'm eager to say it. There he is. Welcome, Favio. Congratulations, you are the Season 1 Triforce Blitz winner. GG. What else can you say, really?
GG's, Favio.
Thank you. Oh my god.
So let me give a quick recap because I know, Ramond, you only saw it from your perspective. But from our perspective, Ramond, you were able to get the GTG Triforce piece first. And so you had the tiebreaker advantage until the very end. And Favio managed to forget Man on Roof and did the full ZL chain to get ZL about 3 minutes behind you, actually. But then managed to go back and do Man on the Roof when picking up ZL to unlock Spirit Temple, and ultimately found the Wisdom piece in the right side of Adult Spirit, with 90 seconds left in the seed.
Yeah, I was actually pretty sure it was gonna be Adult Spirit at the end, but I had no idea where I was supposed to look for like Strength 2, so I just tried to focus on the ZL piece.
Yeah, I mean, if I were in your position, I never would have found Strength 2 either. The strength that we found was in Domain on the torches,
Oh,
and
dang.
I would have done exactly what you did and walked right by it.
Yeah.
Especially since Domain is terribly late in logic, so I thought if Wisdom is just 2 steps and both of these are in Kakariko. So first I thought maybe 10 Skulls, my last Kakariko check, had the other strings. Somehow, well, yeah, I was kind of bummed it didn't work out, and then I just tried not to think about Spirit anymore. No.
Yeah, the irony of this seed is that if strength 3 was strength 2 locked, then wisdom would have been like an insanely high path count basically. But since all 3 strengths are available without getting strength 2, it just ends up being a 2 path wisdom. It's stupid. But well, I mean, I'm sure you also really interested to know where this last Triforce piece actually was, right?
And the strength.
The strength, yeah. Let me get to the
Yeah.
strength. Let me get to the strengths first. Okay, there's man on roof. We know that. This one is really annoying. The other strength was in Hyrule Field Southeast Grotto chest.
Oh my! Oh no! Oh my god!
Oh my god.
I was
So-
planning to route those things in when I went to Adult Lake, but I never got around to do that because I went from GDG, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah. So, all right. So that's that's where the other strength could have been found. It was actually pretty easy to get all along. It turns out. The Triforce of Power is in the Water Temple Dragon Chest.
Yeah, dang
Oh,
it!
wow.
It's just a terrible seed. Okay.
I was close. It was just basically a gamble in the end, which ZL checks I'm gonna chase, and I was close. Just 5 more minutes, and
That's really tough because that means that actually the last Triforce piece was not available out of logic.
No.
You can get to Dragon Chest sometimes without ZL, but you need Song of Time, and that was not available this seed. So in the end, both of our runners making the correct call to go through all the dungeons to pick up ZL, but that was just a tough place for it, and sometimes it's just not possible to get it, and it seems like this was one of those times.
This is just a terrible seed, I think, honestly, is all you can say about it. It's not a good seed. Well, I mean, I think it was a very good seed for us here on the restream, and I think it made for a very exciting finals, but yeah, not a great seed.
So Fabio, I want to hear about Man on the Roof. Tell me about Man on the Roof.
I simply forgot. I don't remember when I'm pretty sure I got Cack double path. And like at 140 I remember that was like oh my god. I lost hope.
And just for the record, I have unlocked the spoiler log on the seed now, so you can look at it at your own leisure.
I mean, drop the link in chat.
Yeah, of course, I'll drop the link in chat. Here you go, chat. Oh, I can actually do that now. Fantastic. I only have one question, really. I mean, there's a lot of things in this game that I personally don't really like drawing attention to potential mistakes because usually they're very well and easy defendable for everyone. I'm just really curious what moved both of you to go to Shadow Temple after getting ZL. I don't even want to say it's a bad decision. I'm just really curious what your reasoning was for that play.
Well,
I thought it was really interesting.
for me personally, it was like there was still like 4 ZL, actually 3 ZL lock checks there, and somehow there was still this like tiny little chance that the slingshot wasn't actually path, just in case I missed something in the logic and there is like still another strength or something in Shadow. So I thought, okay, there's a chance for a piece and also chance for possibly a pass item, even if the chance is small. So that's why I think I chose that first.
Yeah, pretty much the same here.
All right. Okay. That makes sense. I just wanted to hear from you guys yourself. I was really interested to see. Maybe there was some other kind of logic. I think we, at least I don't know for Ela, but I think we both kind of thought it was at least an unusual choice, but defensible for sure. Just kind of strange. So I was really curious to see what you guys would think of it. Well, that answers my questions. I have nothing else to say. I want to thank both of you for an incredibly exciting run. I think both of you just kind of blew away most people's expectations. I think for everyone here, Ramond, I think you've pretty much established yourself as a name that people are going to pay attention to. I think you are really the breakout player of the season. And of course, I mean, Fabio, you've been here since the start. Just to see you take the tournament, I think it's incredible, personally. So that's where I stand. I have nothing else to say. I think the seed has done all the talking for us, and as has your play.
Yeah, maybe I can say just a few words to close this out, and then we can throw it over to Tobias. But just want to thank both of you for participating in the tournament, and congratulations on making it to the finals. It's been this tournament just completely blew away any expectations that I had for it, and the incredible moments that, especially early on in the tournament, Fabio, the race against Saria's Object, and throughout the upper bracket, having a really tough road to get here. He showed us so many good races, and Ramond, I don't think really being a well-known player, but showing us some incredible play. And the more I watched your games, like in the finals and in the semis, I really became a huge fan, and I really love the way that you approach these seeds, and it's the way that you play is very crazy, and it's about as crazy as I play, which I love it. So I'm just really a huge fan of your performance, and even though you didn't end up winning, we were all cheering for you, and you gave us an absolutely great performance, and I'm sure you'll continue to give us more great performances in the future. And for everybody in chat, there is still the Wanderer bracket that's still going to be wrapping up. So definitely make sure to tune into those finals, because those are going to be some more great games as we conclude this tournament. But I just want to finally shout out just all the people at the Silver Gauntlets, because I think it was about 3 or 4 months ago that I kind of pitched this idea to them. And I basically just hey, you guys want to run a Triforce Blitz tournament? And Hell Knight's what is Triforce Blitz? And they just took a gamble on me and my word, saying hey, this thing that I've made will be fun and will be really cool and people will like it. And they put in countless hours of organization and organizing volunteers and setting up rules and brackets and race monitoring and tracking. And there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes. And I just want to personally thank Hell Knight and the rest of the staff for investing all their time in something that they had no reason to think that this was going to be as awesome as it ended up being. It was basically just going on my word. And so I want to thank them for their trust in taking a shot on me and committing a lot of their time to kind of support this crazy idea that I had. And it just means a tremendous amount to me personally. And I'm so thrilled that we got to have a really great tournament. So shout outs to all the people at TSG, and also to Spell, who invested a lot of time in building this amazing web generator for this branch that has all these really cool features around the spoiler logs and the seed of the day now, and investing in all these cool ideas. And just like the rest of the Silver Gauntlets, Spell had no idea that this would actually turn out to be good. You just kind of went after it on faith, and I just really appreciate that. So to all the people who've worked with me over the past few months to make this a reality, I'm really grateful. And to anybody who's participated in the tournament or just hung out and chat and enjoyed these matches, I'm so thrilled that Triforce Blitz was fun for you, and hopefully gave you a little bit of joy and just a different experience in playing Randomizer. And I'm sure this won't be the last time that Triforce Blitz gets run in a major way. But at least a little bit, we're gonna go on a hiatus as far as tournaments are concerned. But definitely more for the future, and I can't wait to to give you some more things to sink your teeth into. So stay tuned for those Wanderer finals to hear more about that.
Yeah, I would also like to add on to that just real quickly. I also am extremely humbled by everything. I honestly didn't think this would become so big. I know when Elagatua threw up the idea of a tournament in on his Twitch channel when I was just actually watching when it was in the early stages. I think we were expecting like 16 players, right, at the best. I think that was
the
kind
goal.
of yeah, that was the optimistic goal. You would have been happy with 8, and it kind of it blew us all completely away. I didn't think I'd be part of something like this coming into the Ocarina of Time Randomizer community, but I'm I'm just really humbled. Just in general, like the feedback and the reception from the community has been overwhelming, and I'm really grateful to have been part of something so cool. That's all I want to say on it, really.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I guess from Elagatua, again, congratulations to Favio, and congratulations to Ramond on providing an amazing show. I'm going to throw over to Tobias, and he will take us on out.
That he will. And the main bracket may be done. But the Wanderer bracket is not. And the Wanderer bracket's next match is actually tomorrow. EgoDev versus Kress, Game 2, is happening tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern or 1 a.m. Tuesday or Central European summertime. So don't miss it. Don't forget tuning in there. And from the Silver Gauntlets community, I can only say thank you so much for also putting out faith in us. For both allowing us the privilege of helping run this tournament, and also to you, dear viewers, obviously, for tuning